Good evening, SynergyPWR viewers across the world. Welcome to SynergyPWR People's World Racing, and we are here back for the second part of this Season 3, Round 2 of SynergyPWR People's World Racing at the Bahrain International Circuit. Over here in Sakhir, Bahrain, of course, home to the second round of the Formula One World Championship, and we're here for the Division 1 race, tuned in from Division 2 yesterday evening, and hope you are here as a result of that fantastic qualifying and race from the Division 2 lot, which saw very close battles, someone spinning out on the final lap, managing only just to secure C2, and a very close battle for that final spot on the podium between HB Suppressor and PWR Hamster. But we are back now for the Division 1 race. 14 runners here today. Big thank you, of course, to everyone tuning in, and a few honourable mentions to make note of. First off, the familiar driver to some, not so familiar to a few others in Not Your F1, to coming into SynergyPWR under a probationary period. With WRS Simpri also tuning into SynergyPWR and being with us here for today. He races in the Haas. So we'll see how they get off on their introductory period into SynergyPWR People's World Racing. Thank you to anyone tuning in. BWR Dan casually popping into the chat with Uwu. My dear friend, you are certainly a weeb. 15 minutes in this Q2 section, though, as we head into the session with 14 runners. And of course, this is the session where drivers will be starting their laps. Certainly will be an interesting one to see where the newbies come out here. But this Q2 session, of course, is an opportunity to see what strategies people will be going on for the race. Of course, the tyre compound chosen in this session will be the one that's carried over to the grid if you get into the top 10. As at the moment, two drivers electing to start on the soft. And MWR pair face, though, he's still in the pits, so has an option to change his tyres. Everyone else on medium and hards, which is certainly not what everyone selected in the first run. Certainly not something that everyone selected in the session in Division 2. A lot more soft starters. You're on board, though, with the DNF of the last race in Got to Go Fast. Handed a gentle nudge, gentle pat on the back, gentle slap on the wrist, if you will, for crashing out on purpose in Australia. Quoting himself, was annoyed after crashing into the wall. He took himself out of the race. Of course, doing that will put you in a position to potentially cause a safety car. But Got to Go Fast comes across the line, so it's a 29.2. A 10th down on SV Pogu in the Alfa Romeo. But MWR Fairface setting the initial lap time of a 28.1, though on the soft tyres, he's 1 second faster than the rest of the field. Maybe that a little bit less now, 7/10 of a second, as ITF and Mulan comes in with a very good lap time on the hard tyres, actually, of a 28.8. But then Simpri comes across the line with a 28.7 on the medium tyre. We have Hoonigan come across the line with a 28.9. Big thank you to Hoonigan, coming back to SynergyPWR after his short break away. He now races in the Racing Point after being dropped by Ferrari. The ScarTricks making that move, as he was a Ferrari reserve, was Hoonigan under that temporary basis, now moves to Racing Point. And he now races with a 28.9 on the medium tyre, which is not a bad lap time indeed from the Division 2 World Champion from Season 2. A couple of other people on hot laps at the moment. Hypernova originally setting a lap time. He invalidated his lap, though. I believe the next person to be coming across the line to set his lap will be the Toro Rosso of the BOR Dan. Will get there in the end. The Weeb comes across the line and puts himself into P5 with a 29.1. Make note of the weeb for oohing and saying that he loves me in the chat. That is something. Comic Shop comes across the line though. He'll be setting his lap time and he puts himself into P4 with a 28.8, sorry. Very close indeed actually. 28.7, 28.8, 28.8, 28.9 between P2 to P5. They'll make note Mulan on the harder tyre whilst everyone else on the medium. So it's actually a very good run from the Mercedes long-term runner. Still waiting on Hypernova to set his lap. He will be setting another lap. Of course, it will be the second lap on these medium tyres for him. Make note SV Bradford out of the running after crashing out on the hard tyres. So he'll be starting P14. Alfa Romeo coming across the line now to set his lap. And he comes across the line with a P2 standing with a 28.2. A really good lap there from the second place man from SynergyPWR Division 1 Season 2. Though we do have one more person out on an out lap at the moment, and that is the current defending world champion Sakhir Cook. He didn't have the best of races, did Sakhir Cookie, at Australia. Got himself down and got himself 4 points in total. It's an 8th place for Australia. Of course, the highlights for that race available by popping over to our YouTube page. Just search it, Synergy space PWR. A good race it was from the Division 1 runner. Of course, you can take a look at the Division 2 highlights as well. They're also available on the same YouTube page as well. Losing a little bit on the rear was Sakhir Cookie then on his lap. Getting through turn 4 into turn 5 and then 6. Use it low in the gears actually, 4th, 5th and then 6th before breaking down gentle on the brakes, heading in first gear, then hopping it into second with a short shift, heading through 8 and then into this very, very tight left-hander here. Very easy to lock up your brakes, but very, very well taken from the defending world champion, DRS Open. Honda power unit in the back of this Red Bull. And he is on the hard tyres, so we shouldn't expect him to be pushing nearer the medium or hard tyres, but though we did see got to go fast that ITF9 Mulan on the hard tyre set those laps, though we are seeing Mulan switch over to medium tyres in the pits, so this could be one to watch. Get a bit of a tow actually from Hypernova, funnily enough, who may have just impeded his lap actually from Sakhir Cookie. And he loses the rear end of Sakhir Cookie, so that might have been a bit of an impediment from Hypernova. He will come across the line, will Sakhir Cookie, and it is P12 for Sakhir Cookie, and I feel that might have been because of the impediment from Hypernova. Surely there's going to be an investigation into that one. He will not be happy, will Sakhir Cookie, with that one. May need to change his tyres as well now, medium tyres, and a strategy change maybe for the Red Bull and the current defending world champion, impeded by the Alfa Romeo in P2. The driver to watch at the moment is not your F1, currently in P11 at the moment, will be knocked out as it stands, but he's 3.5 tenths up in the second sector. He's now coming across to finish his lap. Traction control doing its wonders as DRS goes open. He'll come across the line and he'll improve on his lap time to a 28.8, but it's up to P6 for Not Yol. That does nudge Mulan down, but he is now on the medium tyre and intending to come out probably in the next 3 or 4 minutes. And a good run from ScarTricks as well, P3 for him. 28.4 for the Ferrari. Especially on the hard tyre as well, he's only 3 tenths of a second back on MWR Pearface on the soft tyres, though make no, Pearface is now on a hot lap. See how he takes the next couple of corners, he's wide going into 4, and very slow, and I think he might actually have an invalidated lap here. I think he's actually looking after these soft tyres. Yeah, he's 5 tenths down in the first sector, so I think he might be looking to have another pop at this. But currently as it stands, SV Bradford definitely knocked out, crashing out on his out lap, and then we've got Sakhir Cookie, MS Bianchi and BOR Dan looking to try and get themselves out of the positions, and they're the only ones in the 29s, everyone else qualifying in the 28s. Few changes to tyre strategy as well at the moment. We do have, as far as we are aware, Hoonigan swapping onto the soft tyres. We do expect Got to Go Fast, possibly to move to a set of mediums. And Mulan as well. So still very topsy-turvy at the moment, and you would suspect that would mean the 28-8ers of Not Your Mulan Atomic Ship and the 28-9er of Pogu are certainly going to be in dangerous territory if Hoonigan is going to be on the softs. Hairface will come across the line, and he's going to start his lap now. He is on the softs, so he may go even faster and get into the 27s, will the Toro Rosso driver. Very gentle on the accelerator pedal. I think it's 8th gear into turn 4. Esports line going out wide. And losing that rear end, but catching it well. Will come across to finish the first sector, and he is half a 10th up. Riding the curves very nicely. Getting into 3rd gear around here. Odd choice of gear going around that slow corner, but he will be coming in now, and he's going to be holding on here. ABS working its wonders. Losing that rear end, catching it. DRS open, maybe losing some time here. Good evening to PWR Infamous. Wishing the best of luck to all of our Division 1 drivers tonight around Bahrain. He's still just under a 10th up, though, even with that few mistakes there from the Toro Rosso. And he will be heading through now into the final corner. Slower corner, 3rd gear for the driver, holds his line, and then will floor it now to the line with DRS open. Toro Rosso will come across the line and will improve. He goes to a 27.9, a couple of tenths more than the previous lap, but there were a few mistakes, so I think he still has a bit more to find. Does the Toro Rosso. A few more people now heading on to their out laps, including Got to Go Fast, who's now starting his lap. Note as well, we're also going to have a few other people starting laps as well, including Hoonigan, who's now going out on the soft tyres. So it's going to be an interesting thing to see who could be knocked out here. BOR, Dan, AMS, Bianchi and Sphere Cookie all still yet to go onto a new lap, and at this moment in time the bottom 3 who were in the 29s were on hard tyres. They've moved to a medium tyre, so certainly you would suspect now the medium runners are going to be looking over their shoulders, especially considering how close it is. Pogo in the danger zone, as are Atomic Ship and Mulan, and you'd suspect possibly Not Y'all, maybe even up to Simpri as well. Got to Go Fast also looking over his shoulder, so he's taking no chances and going out again. And he's now heading into the second sector. Might have invalidated his lap cutting that corner, but no, he'd done it just perfectly according to this. And he goes into ERS 4 down the straight. Just a little bit off the track, taking the esports line, going through into the left-hander. Clipping the curve very nicely, actually, does the McLaren. See, a lot of drivers were spinning out in the Division 2 race at that particular corner. Thankfully, nothing of the sort happening just yet in this Division 1 race. Got to Go Fast will be heading out now. Final couple of corners for the McLaren. He's got to find, I reckon, a couple of tenths more if he wants to feel comfortable in his own skin. ScarTricks feels happy with his 28.4. He retires in the pits. He comes across the line. He's got to go fast, and he does go fastest, actually. 27.8 for him on the medium tyres. It's a good lap from the McLaren. Next person to come across the line will be Hoonigan, and he is on the soft tyre. If I'm right in saying it will be Hoonigan, and then it will be his teammate Not Y'all in the other racing point, followed by SV Pogu. So we're starting to see now the sort of back markers are now starting to sort of push out here. We do have BOR down, AMS Bianchi, Sphere Cookie also looking to try and get themselves through here. Hypernova happy with his lap time. It's 28.2 for the Alfa Romeo. You know, he is on the medium tyre, though. ScarTricks on the hard tyre. Really good lap time as well. 28.4 for the Ferrari. Breaking into the final corner, though, does Hoonigan. Clips the curve nicely. Got to try and find... I think he's got to try and find at least 4 or 5 tenths if he wants to feel comfortable. He will come across the line. It's 28.1 for Hoonigan on the soft tyre. He is up to P3. And you'd suspect that he probably would be saved. Now SV Pogu is on the brink of losing out here. Not Y'all F1, next person to come across the line on the medium tyre. set it his 28.8 on the hard tyre. Will be coming across the line now and comes across, and it's P3 for him with a 28.1. Very close indeed. We're starting to see some really close qualifying again from the Division 1 drivers. Drivers now retiring on the track, something we don't advise. Next person's come across the line, the Alfa Romeo of SV Pogu. He'll come across the line on the medium tyre and he'll push himself up to P5 with a 28.1 as well. It's again very close stuff from the runners. Simpri can't improve upon his time. Sorry, does rather. He's a 10th up, but he's now up to a 28.5 as we have ITFNI Mulan spinning out at the familiar corner. There's the first casualty of that corner. And he's in the danger zone, is ITFN Mulan, and he can't go for another lap. So he's going to be on the brink here with the medium tyres of BOR Dan now coming across the line. And Mulan is out of the running as BOR Dan goes to P3 with a 27.9. AMS Bianchi, the next person to come across the line. Then it will be Sphere Cookie. Mulan knocked out of Q2 as a result of that mistake. DRS open for the Ferrari. AMS Bianchi will come across the line. He's on the brink. Simpri knocked out with a 28.5. And Bianchi manages to get in with a 28.5 as well. And then you've got Sphere Cookie, who you should suspect should get through here. But a bit of a shocker there from the Mercedes. Mulan making that mistake. He starts P12 on the grid, and maybe even as low as P13 at this rate, because Sphere Cookie's now going to come across the line, and he's going to be setting a tyre on the medium time, and he's a 27.9. He's up to P4, simply down to P12. AMS Bianchi is out, and ScarTricks on those hard tyres was looking over his shoulder for just a second, because it was a cracking lap time up to P3, and he just sneaks in to P10. And just take a look how close it is. P10, 28.4, P9, 28.3, P8, 28.2, and then 7.6.5, 28.1, then 4.3.2 is 27.9, and P1, 27.8. Very, very close stuff on a variety of tyres, and it's going to be anyone's game pole position, surely. Great work from Division 1. Really, really close stuff, as we said there, though. In that qualifying 2 session, we have SV Bradford knocked out after crashing out, and ITFN Mulan making a familiar mistake to a lot of Synergy drivers in this Bahrain Grand Prix, spinning out at the familiar corner at the end of the DRS straight. He starts P13 with WRS Simpri on his debut starting a respectable P12, and Bianchi finishing P3 in the last race. Sorry, P2, in the last race, will be starting from 11th. Then ScarTricks, Atomic Ship, Hypernova, SV Pogu, Hoonigan Notyol, Sphere Cookie, BOR Dan, MWR Pepe's, and Got to Go Fast. And look at how close it is, 5/10 separating the top 10. Indeed, very, very close stuff, and we have now 12 minutes to decide who you feel your favourite is going to be for pole position, because surely it's anyone's game with how close that was. 5/10 of a second on a variety of tyres in Q2, and we get going now. Yeah, money would probably go on the likes of Got to Go Fast, who managed to get himself on the top step of that Q2 session, but anything to play for? Make note, only one Ferrari managed to get in. Ferrari currently topping the standings at the moment in Division 1, 43 versus Alfa Romeo's 27. And currently, one of those Ferraris has been knocked out. Amos Bianchi knocked out of Q2, so he'll be starting beneath P10. And ScarTricks only just managing to get in to the top 10 on hard tyres, though, which could help his strategy. So that's certainly something to watch. Make note, both Alfa Romeos, though, are through. Both Racing Points are through, both Toro Rossos are through, and both Red Bulls are through. The only one that's managed to get through on his own are ScarTricks, and the McLaren have Got to Go Fast. So it's certainly going to be one interesting one to make note. Very, very good stuff from the Division 1 run here, as everyone now goes on their outlap for their first run. I suspect it's going to be a very, very, very close race and close qualifying as it stands at the moment. BOR Dan, Sphere Cookie in the chat. Yeah, we made note about what happened on your hard tyre lap, Sphere Cookie, making that mistake from Hypernova, I believe it was, on the final corner, blocking it. No doubt he'll be sending that one into the stewards for review. Hypernova will know he's going to have a time penalty on his case as well as a result of that one. Well, he's got to be wary of a time penalty as a result of that, which may end up causing issues for the race. We are starting to see now drivers get out there and get on their fast lap. Everyone straight out on track for their first run with 10 minutes to go. First person to set a lap will be the Alfa Romeo of SynergyPWR. I will apologise as well to John, who in a separate chat at some point this week did speak to me and say, who is SynergyPWR? He wants it to be pronounced as Pagoo. So SynergyPWR goes through into turn 4. Onto a very, very good turn actually through 4 into 5 and 6. Fourth gear. Much higher gear than a lot of people usually pick. And second gear through the familiar corner here into first, then hopping it in back into second again. Alfa Romeo looking to try and capitalise maybe on a one starting Ferrari here in Q3. Alfa Romeo looking to close the gap up. Like I said, Ferrari currently on 40 points after round 1. Alfa Romeo on 27. And they've got to look over the shoulder as well. Toro Rosso on 14. And both Toro Rossos did manage to get themselves through to Q3. And one of the Renaults, an SV Bradford, shockingly getting knocked out after crashing out of Q2. So Renault, who are currently standing 5th at the moment, will be starting further in the back, so they'll need to see if they can work on their strategy. But SynergyPWR will be coming across the line first. He comes across the line. It's a 27.4 from him. We've seen faster times, though, in Q2, so I think he'll be looking to have another go at this lap. Next person will be MWR Pairface. He comes across the line, and he's 5/10 down on those lap times. Here comes Not Y'all. It's a 1 minute 27.8 for him. Was Hypernova comes across and makes it a 1-2, and then Sphere Cookie comes along across the line. It's a 27.7 for him. Very close indeed. Got to go fast. Comes across the line next. He comes across in the McLaren with a 27.1. Forgot to go fast. So McLaren coming out of nowhere and putting themselves onto the pole position. ScarTricks will be the next person to come across the line as Hoonigan comes across with a 28.2. ScarTricks now evading that lap, so he now comes back into the pits. Atomic Ship will be next, and he comes across the line in the Racing Point, and it's P5 for him. So Red Bull currently occupying the second and third row. Dan will come across the line though, and he pushes himself into 7th and 8th position for Toro Rosso. So the only person yet to set a lap at the moment is ScarTricks, but got to go fast. 0.3 of a second up on the rest of the field. But look how close it is for the rest of the field though. Pagoo 27.4, Hypernova 27.6, Sphere Cookie 27.7, Atomic Ship 27.7, Not Y'all 27.8, BRR Dan 27.8. So very, very close. 0.2 of a second separating P3 from P7. So surely there's a lot of time to be found between those guys in the final run in Q3. And not to discredit as well MWR Pairface and Hoonigan as well, who'll be looking to find some time themselves as well. 28.0 and 28.2. And of course ScarTricks yet to set a lap as well. And in fact, he's actually just come straight back out again to have another go at this run. Certainly going to be one to watch for this SynergyPWR People's World Racing race at the Bahrain Grand Prix, round number 2 of season 3. And a very big thank you to everyone tuning in to this race here tonight. ScarTricks now on an outlap. Rest of the field looking to not have another go, I feel. I think we've got BOR Dan now going to be coming back into the pits. So the only person now on track at the moment is the Ferrari, currently down in P10, yet to set a lap time. still on his outlap at the moment is the Ferrari runner. We've got a couple of other people on the outrun as well. We have MWR just starting an outlap as well. We've got a couple of people out on track, rather. Hoonigan down in P9, so he'll be looking over his shoulder here to see how ScarTricks does on his lap. Number 21, Ferrari, now starting his lap. A little bit of a snap there, and he goes a little bit wide, actually, off the track. So he may not have a valid lap here. But he keeps it in the RS4, so he's having a go. Heading into the first corner, very well does the Ferrari, actually. He now has the Alfa Romeo of Hypernova in his way, but he gets through. Really good run from the SynergyPWR lot in Division 2 last night, for sure. Take a look at the full race, actually, is available on our Twitch feed at the end of this one. It was an absolute belter of a race. And after this one, of course, is this race, and of course this qualifying for pole position. 4.5 minutes to go, and now we're starting to see people now begin their outlaps. As we've seen Hypernova now out, we should be seeing some more people leaving in the next minute or so. Eighth gear for the Ferrari, though. In fact, keeps it in 7th, rather. 4th here. Around this corner here. Now, this corner familiar to a lot of people, making mistakes, spinning the car out by touching that curb. Or, of course, if they have a lower downforce setup, the rear could easily just step out as much. But very well taken from ScarTricks in the Ferrari. ERS4 coming down the straight. Of course, we're looking for a relatively good lap from the Ferrari. The question is where is he going to be able to put himself? The answer is nowhere. He's coming straight back into the pits, does Ferrari. So he's going to be coming back in for another change of soft tyres and having another go. So we'll skip to the Toro Rosso of Pearface, who's just started his hot lap, but he's now in the 2nd sector. Toro Rosso to look to improve above beyond a 28.0. Certainly looking very fast, though, is the Division 1 lot here today. 27-1, might be seeing some 26s towards the end of this qualifying session. Has got to go fast, is now starting his outlap. But MWR Pearface will come across the line now. DRS open, and see how he does. He comes across the line, bumps himself up to P4, and he pushes the Red Bulls down to the 3rd row of the grid. 27.6 for the Pearface as well. So very, very, very close indeed between the runners here. Hypernova is not setting a lap. He's invalidated it, so he'll be having another run at it. We do have a few more people on outlaps at the moment who are just a little bit in front, and that includes Hoonigan in the Racing Point, who's just about to start his lap. And from ERS 0, he goes to ERS 4, 4th gear, and floors it to start his lap in the Racing Point. I want to show him from Hoonigan as well after returning from an enforced break. Wasn't able to race at Australia, lost his seat at Ferrari as a result, but moves to Racing Point and keeps his seat. And he goes a little bit wide into 1. In fact, he's decided to just call it quits and have another run at it. He's going to have to push, though, because he hasn't got a lot of time to be able to get back round again. And I think he realised that mistake into turn 1 and wanted to abort it. So Hypernova, the next person to come across the line, we believe. He's only just there to the 2nd sector, actually. And he's actually a 10th and a bit down in the 1st sector. So he's lost a little bit of time somewhere. Sector 2 yellow flags have been waved. And that's, I'm unaware of who was. But Hypernova's still on here at the moment. Might be getting blocked by the Red Bull of Atomic Ship. But he gives him the space. And thankfully might still be able to continue. And he does. Good work from Atomic Ship. DRS open. And fuel very low for the Alfa Romeo as well. Slightly wider line heading into the end of the DRS straight, and then the familiar corner where people start to struggle. The change in direction can cause some cars problems. Not this Alfa Romeo, though. Good work from Hypernova. 3rd place currently at the moment, but only by half a second, and only 2 tenths there, 2 tenths down on his teammate. So he could get himself onto the front row. And he's going to get a lovely tow off the Racing Point as well. Great timing here for the Alfa Romeo to get a lovely toe off the racing point. He comes across the line and he improves, but only to a 27.5. So he's actually in danger here, I reckon. We've got a few people now on hot laps themselves. Not Yall, a 10th up in the first sector. BOR Dan also a 10th up in the first sector as well. Hoonigan looking to set a lap himself as well. Has got to go fast, comes across the line and improves upon his lap time to a 26.6 on the soft tyres. It's a great run from the McLaren, and 5 seconds to go and everyone is now on hot laps. No more chances now. This is the last chance for people to have a go. Expecting the first person to come across the line will be, looks like MWR Pearface, but I think he's actually called it quits, and he has. So he's finishing his run on a 27.6. Hypernova finishes his run as well on a 27.5. What a run though from Got to Go Fast. It's a 26.8 for him. McLaren, cracking lap time. Puts himself in a position where he's certainly going to be one to watch. Drivers to keep a note on here as we start to come across the line. BOR Dan will come across the line. He goes to a 27.3 for him. Very close actually from the Toro Rosso. He out-qualifies his teammate for the second time this campaign. A few people going to be coming across the line soon. Next person to come across the line will be Atomic Ship in the Red Bull. As Noviol goes up to 27.2 in the racing point, then comes Atomic Ship. He can't improve, he stays at a 27.7, so he's out-qualified by his teammate Sphere Cookie. As ScarTricks comes across the line with a 27.0, very, very close stuff. 2/10 separating the top three equally. Sphere Cookie comes across the line, it's only P6 for the defending world champion. SV Pogu down the order with a 27.4, as Hypernova has lost control of his car but managed to regain, and he'll be coming across the line with a 27.5. He's out-qualified by SV Pogu for the second time this season, and we have our grid. What can we say about that one? We have our pole position sitter, and it's got to go fast in the McLaren, the sole McLaren. PWR Jenny Goosh unavailable this race, but he has to get to pole position by just 0.2 of a second between him and ScarTricks. Not Your follows behind in P3 on his debut. Very respectable time of a 27.2 for him. And then BOR Dan follows in a 27.3 on the 10th behind him, and a 10th behind him. The Division 2 world champion of Hoonigan follows in 27.4 for him, and a 27.4 for Sphere Cookie as well. Look how close it was between the two of them there. 0.004 of a second. SV Pogu follows behind as well. P7, he'll be a bit disappointed with that one, I think, but he does out-qualify his teammate Hypernova with MWR Pearface in P9 and Atomic Ship out-qualified by Sphere Cookie down in P10. Hopefully drivers and new drivers will be aware of this start time rule. 2017 is our start time here tonight. Most drivers in breach of that 2-second time penalty for making that mistake. But very, very competitive indeed. Just having a look at the moment at the chats that are happening in Division 1 at the moment. All the drivers now talking with each other in the Discord, and plenty of drivers saying, including Hypernova, saying that is a very, very, very competitive grid, and certainly is as well, isn't it? 2017 is the start time allocated to Division 1. We've got a little bit of time to have a cup of tea, chill out, try and remember what's happened. Message coming through from SG Pagu saying that it was a bit of a joke because he went into too deep into turn 10 and he reckons it cost him pole position. Starting down the order is the Alfa Romeo runner, but he does out-qualify his teammate Hypernova, who's looking to try and beat the Ferrari here today. Of course, Ferrari managing to get themselves a classy 1-2 at Australia. That gives them 43 points. They didn't manage to get fastest lap. That went to ITFNI Mulan, who managed to get himself P8 in the race. Or the P9, sorry. With the fastest lap, so 3 points for Mercedes. And indeed, it's going to be a very interesting race to keep an eye out on. So, guys, tuning in to this Bahrain Grand Prix. For anyone who is interested, please let us know in the comments if you feel that your favourite is for pole position here today, for the race win rather here today, sorry. We know it's got to go fast who's got the pole position, but will he carry that through to a race win for McLaren? He's on his own, and it certainly would do the world of wonders, actually, for McLaren to get that classy position. McLaren currently with no points at the moment as it stands. And depending on the other cars around him, could get up to P3. Can the McLaren team. But as it stands at the moment, he did not manage, if I remember so correctly, to race. Was it, or did he crash out? No, he crashed out of the race at Australia. Crashing out of the race, of course, meant that he leaves with nil points. It's a good way to get back up and running, I feel, from the Division 1 races. A couple of minutes to go in this Division 1 race, and good evening to every single one of you tuned in today. Very classy race this at Bahrain, when on the circuit calendar since 2004, believe it or not. 16 years of the Bahrain Grand Prix. And it continues, of course, into the 2020 season. And rumours apparently of a Saudi Arabia Grand Prix happening in Formula 1 as well. $50 million, apparently, for that deal. And that certainly would add some value to Formula 1 in the Middle East. And 7 viewers finally got the notification to see how many people we've got. 7 viewers tuning in tonight. So thank you very much to every single one of you tuning in to this Division 1 race. 14 eager racers, very, very keen to get going. And they've got 1 minute before they can ready up on the grid. We are Dan, hoping that you can get a start like Australia. And indeed, a very, very good start it was. Dan. The Toro Rosso looking to go ahead and work wonders. They out qualifying and out racing your teammate last week at Australia. They both got 8 and 6 points respectively for Toro Rosso. So certainly one to look forward to if Alfa Romeo don't get the start that they need. And don't forget as well, SV Bradford starting in P14 at the moment as well, after crashing out earlier on. 20 seconds to go gives us an option to have a quick reminder of the tyres. And the top 10 will all start on mediums. We'll have Hoonigan on softs, MWR Pearface on softs, and ScarTricks who will be on hards. Remember, ScarTricks starting P2 on hard tyres, so he's certainly got a few options available to him. And with 1 second to go, we are ready and waiting to get going. For the rest of the drivers down the field, and P11, P12, 13, and 14, we have mediums on for Bianchi, softs for Simpri, mediums for Milan, and mediums for Bradford. So it's certainly going to be one to watch as Hoonigan has readied up on the grid, and we are getting going in 20 seconds' time. So, who do you feel you're going to be voting for as your winner? Let us know in the comments. We'll be back shortly. Good evening, SynergyPWR viewers across the world. Welcome to SynergyPWR People's World Racing, and we're back. Welcome to Season 3, Round number 2 at the Division 1 race here. As Got to Go Fast has just ended up getting in a bit of a few people already crashing on this formation lap here, and it looks like MWR Pearface has made a spin before we get there. Indeed, looking a little bit odd about what's happened there. Fingers crossed everyone should be back in line. And welcome, as I was rudely interrupted by the drivers, to this Division 1 race here at the Bahrain Grand Prix, round number 2 of Season 3. And we are back with a very, very good lineup, including some new drivers arriving into SynergyPWR. Not Your Left One, starting from P3 on the grid. He will be making his debut tonight alongside the driver of WRS Simpri in the Haas. And a big welcome back as well to Hoonigan 403, who makes his return to SynergyPWR after taking the enforced break. He moves to Racing Point from Ferrari to take a full-time seat alongside Not Your F1. I see the Pink Panthers back, and nice to see 8 viewers tuning into this race tonight. And it's certainly going to be one to watch as people now currently just warming up their tyres to get themselves ready. We'll quickly go through the grid. Got to Go Fast starts on P1 with ScarTricks in P2 and Not Y'all on P3. Remember, ScarTricks on hard tyres though. BOR Dan in P4, Hoonigan in P5. Remember, he starts on soft. Sphere Cookie on mediums, P6. SV Pogu in P7. Hypernova in P8 with MWR Perfect also on soft tyres in P9. Atomic Ship on mediums in P10. And then we have AMS Bianchi who starts on the medium tyre in P11. WRS Simpri will be on softs in P12. Mulan will be on the mediums in P13. And SV Bradford will be starting from the back after crashing out in Q2. He starts from the back in P14. Feel in the bones it's going to be one interesting race. Make note as well, Hoonigan and Not You'll both have the number 14 car as well in the Pink Panthers, so that's going to be hopefully not too confusing. We do have the thing on the graphic on the left hand side to show you who they are, so hopefully that's not going to be too much of a problem. And with those drivers now, 14 of them now queuing themselves up on the grid, we're going to be getting going for this Division 1 Grand Prix. It's going to be an absolute cracker, I'm sure of it. The drivers now lining up on the grid. And with last person lined up, we are counting down the lights. It's 1, it's 2, it's 3, it's 4, and it's 5 lights. It's 5 lights, and they are a go. The drivers here, they are Got to Go Fast gets an appalling start compared to the rest of the field. He goes instantly down to P3 as then ScarTricks goes into P1 on the hard tyres. Not Your F1 also gets a cracking start as well as he just swipes into the Toro Rosso, I feel. He gets into P1, but he's off the track and he's going to rejoin dangerously maybe as SV Pogu gets a cracking start. He's up to P2. 5 positions gained, and WRS Simpri, where did he come from? He's up to P3 with 9 positions gained, and we got Sector 1 yellow flags waved already, and that's believed for a few drivers with maybe some front wing damage. ITFN Mulan coming around the outside in P11, and then Sphere Cookie driving around in P2 as Not Y'all is losing positions left, right and centre. He's down to P5 now, and we think we might have AMS Bianchi around the outside as more front wing coming off then. I believe that might be for Pogu as he just nudges Sphere Cookie off around the outside. It's a really poor start from a lot of these Division 1 runners here. Sphere Cookie trying to make a move around. Bianchi can't do so. Hypernova losing positions as well. He's down 1 position now, but could get it back off Atomic Ship, and he does so. Mulan up 3 positions from P13 to P10, and Got to Go Fast from pole position is down to P13, and maybe down to the back of the grid as it stands at the moment, as he's spun out by, looks like MWR Pearface, and there goes Got to Go Fast, and as he spins at the back of the grid. That's some shocking stuff there, I think. At the back of the grid, Got to Go Fast, but he is disconnecting all over the shop at the moment, I feel, as well. So as it stands, ScarTricks starts in P1 with WRS Simpri in P2 and Not Y'all in P3, but he did make some errors and has some wing damage. Into the pits does Not Y'all come in, and the rest of the drivers and SV Pogu released 11 positions gained for WRS Simpri around the outside maybe of ScarTricks, and what a move from the half straight into P1 for the newbie of SynergyPWR. 11 positions gained from P12. He's in the lead of the race with SV Pogu up 4 positions up to P3 and 2 positions gained for Sphere Cookie, the defending world champion, looking to gain as Got to Go Fast is lagging all over the shop and is causing some real problems here. He's up to P6 again. I don't know what's happening with his internet connection, but I'm pretty sure he was down P14 at one point. And then we've got SV Bradford down in P9 and Not Y'all, AMS Bianchi, Atomic Ship, Hypernova and MWR Pearface all in the pits for front wing changes. But as it stands at the moment, start from the medium tyre runner of WRS Simpri, in fact, sorry, soft tyre runner of WRS Simpri. He now is up to P1 with ScarTricks in P2 and SV Pogu as well. Good start from MP3 and Sphere Cookie into P4. Can't forget to shout as well, the number 34 Mercedes, ITFNI Mulan up 7 positions as well, as BOR Dan just behind Mulan managed to get in front of Got to Go Fast. He's now down to P8 as the McLaren, as SV Bradford now looking to try and make a move around the outside of Got to Go Fast, who's really struggling with internet connection, I think, because he's now really slow heading through here. And Not Your F1 now down to P10 after making those boo-boos. What a start. Bahrain give us a really good show in the last race at Division 2, and we're going to get another cracker one, I think, as then WRS Simpri comes across the line and gets the fastest lap of the race on the second lap, heading into lap number 3. And Hoonigan up to P5, or stays in P5 rather, but he's looking to try and make a move maybe on the inside of Sphere Cookie. Gets into his mirrors, but is not looking for that move just yet, is the racing point. A really, really good battle happening as well between the two of them here, or three of them rather, as Hooligan and now Sphere Cookie will have DRS available, lap number 3. Of course, that means DRS now enabled. Let's go fast now down to P7 again. I'm not quite sure what's happening with that McLaren at the moment. But certainly a very, very good battle between these three here. SynergyPWR rather will be very happy, I feel, with P3 at the moment, gaining those 4 positions, and Mulan will be very happy with P6, I think. And he's actually gaining onto the back of this train now as well, so he's going to be in the fight for a podium as it stands. He hasn't got DRS though, and he realises that, and he's just bunched up his ERS settings to be able to compensate for that. Esports line heading into the exit of the DRS straight. Surely it's going to be one to watch here as BOR Dan goes fast. Has got to go fast again. Something not quite right with his internet connection at the moment. He's really struggling out there. Now down to P9. If I was got to go past in this scenario, I'd seriously consider looking into retiring the car if this internet connection is not bad enough, as SV Bradford is making a move up on the inside of BOR Dan, and he holds off to try and get that DRS. It's a good move there from the Renault, something PWR Hamster wasn't able to do in the last race, and it probably cost him the podium as well in that McLaren. Has got to go fast, is now up to P6 again. He's certainly got some severe internet connection issues at the moment because he's now just ghosting through everyone, and if I was that McLaren, I'd seriously consider retiring the car because his internet is just not capable of racing at the moment. Battle for P4 happening though, with Sphere Cookie now trying to dive up the inside, hold on to the position rather, and very well defended. Atomic Ship making the move with Bianchi. Bianchi comes into the pits and he's got a 5-second time penalty for speeding, and he retires the car as well. He's out of here. That's our first retiree of this race as MWR Pearface goes fastest lap of the race on the hard tyre as well. So cracking run from the Toro Rosso, and a safety car has been released as a result, I think, of the retirement in the pits for the Ferrari, and all the guys are now going to be tracked up here to have another go, and WRS Simply has seriously got to consider his strategy here because those tyres are not going to be in the best of condition towards the end of that safety car, as SV Pagoo gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. That's going to cause some problems as well for the Alfa Romeo team, who are now down to P12 and P3, but with a drive-through penalty. What unfortunate stuff happening at the moment in this Division 1 race. We'll have to see how that one develops indeed, but we are under safety car conditions now in this race, and indeed we have a few changes happening. Simpri now going on to another set of soft tyres. We have ScarTricks now taking the lead, but he is going to be under hard tyres. And we've got Sphere Cookie, Hoonigan up to P4. Mulan comes out and he's going to the end of this race on a fresh set of hard tyres now for him. Maybe a good call actually from the Mercedes. Got to go fast, also on a fresh set of soft tyres, but his internet is appalling at the moment, and he may need to consider retiring if all the other drivers are reporting similar issues. SV Pagoo down to P7, but I think may have to come back into the pits rather for a drive-through penalty, so he might go down as far as where Hypernova is in P13, with SV Bradford in P8, Atomic Ship in P9, BOR Dan in P10, the MWR Pearface on hard tyres that he has not changed in P11, with Not Yol down on hard tyres as well on his second pit stop. He's down to P12, with Hypernova in P13, and I surely would suspect that it's going to be a little bit of a topsy-turvy situation, considering the situation with SV Pagoo now down in P7, and the SV drivers actually matching pace at the moment with P7 and 8, both on medium tyres as well. I think ScarTricks will certainly be very wary of the situation with the safety car, because of course hard tyres 4 laps old, he does need to pit and he is going to be a whole pit stop behind at this rate. And meanwhile, we've got a lot of drivers here who can now go to the end. One driver who can't do RS Simpri, he's on a fresh set of soft tyres, so he's hoping to try and pull out a gap of about 20 seconds and possibly do a medium run to the end, whereas ScarTricks can do a one more pit stop. So the WRS Simpri and ScarTricks certainly going to be with each other at this point. And no surprise there, got to go pits, got to go fast, enters the pits, and he's retired out. So yes, he's aware of his internet connections and has elected to call it quits here today, which I think is a very responsible thing to do from the McLaren runner, so fair play to him. As Jenny Gooch appears into the pits, Jenny Gooch appears into pits, rather, into the chat. I forgot to set my alarm. Oh, of course, the driver from down under. He's starting very early in the morning. I think it's one of those things, isn't it, where a mistake happens. Never mind. Doesn't matter. We're on to China next week, as per the normal time, of course, from 7 o'clock UK time PM. BOR Dan saying that he feels that the Racing Point moved under braking, which I suspect may be not y'all, because if that was at the turn 1 incident, he definitely did swipe across a little bit, and I think he didn't give any space at all to that Toro Rosso, and he might be putting himself in a bit of a predicament here. Of course, he is under a probationary period, and any mistakes that are deemed to be irresponsible could actually see him have his super license revoked under SynergyPWR rules agreed by the drivers. Any person under a probationary period because of things, perhaps because of pace or because of previous infringements in other leagues and institutions, the driver may end up being removed from SynergyPWR under the rules guised by the drivers. Of course, he has to be treading very carefully, does not Joel, and if indeed he's deemed to be at fault for that, he could end up having his license revoked, which would be a shame. But of course, that's the rules that the drivers all agreed to. We're still under safety car conditions until the end of this lap, because the safety car is in, and we are going to be getting racing again. And of course, ScarTricks now has control of the field. Very, very, very slow is the Ferrari. It is not looking to push, I don't feel. I think the computer may be also controlling his gas input. The question is, when is he going to push? Because that Haas is raring to go. And of course, no overtaking until the start-finish straight. And with the drivers now pushing, we are going racing again here at the Bahrain Grand Prix for this Division 1 race. And this is, of course, ScarTricks who are going to pull away in the lead. But the soft tyre runner of WRS simply looking to try and get a move. He tries to defend on the inside to ScarTricks, but around the outside, WRS simply will go. And Sakhir Cookie trying to get up on that position as well and try and compensate for this situation with ScarTricks on the hard tyres. Simply does make the move into turn 2, does end up cutting the corner, may end up getting a warning for that. But ScarTricks now on hard tyres will start to see the punishment here of being on those tyres compared to the mediums or the softs. And Simpri is starting to pull away as Sakhir Cookie tries to get into a position here. As Not Yall and Ben WR Pairface at the back is getting into a little bit of a fight here. And Not Yall thinks better of it. But Simpri leading the way, ScarTricks in second, Sakhir Cookie in third, Hoonigan in fourth, SV Pogu in fifth, but he may have a drive-through penalty to contend with. We will double-check that one. ITF and Mulan follows in P6 with Bradford in P7. Atomic Ship in P8 with the two Toro Rossos of Dan and Pairface in 9 and 10. Not Yall in P11 and Hypernova at the back in the other Alfa Romeo rather in P12. Potential move around the outside for Not Yall F1 versing the Toro Rosso of MWR Pairface, as Pairface is trying his hardest to hold on around the inside. He's going to touch the curb a little bit. He does hold on to it though. Not Yall thinks better of it, not to make that overtake just there. 10th versus 11th is a very good battle here. One position between the two of them could dictate a point or not. Two people out of the race. Amos Bianchi retiring in the pits and got to go fast also out of the race as well after retiring in the pits under safety car conditions. He thought better of it due to the internet connection issues that he was having. Not Yall F1 though, looking to try and make maybe a mover on the inside. Hypernova making a move on Not Yall F1, but can't see the space just yet as Mulan and Atomic Ship are getting close with each other now. Hard tyres looking very weak at the moment compared to the rest of the field, as ITFN Mulan is now bleeding places all over the place at the moment. He's now down to P9. The hard tyre of ScarTricks, though, seems to be working him some wonders at the moment, because he's starting to pull a bit of a gap on Sakhir Cookie at the moment, with Hoonigan up to a cracking P4 at the moment in the Racing Point. Division 2 World Champion and Division 1 World Champion now next to each other. Very nice. A couple of other positions possibly looking into getting at the moment. Intervals happening all around the shop. We do have a potential overtake happening between Pearface and Mulan. Pearface is getting very, very close to the rear end of that Mercedes. Very good stuff indeed. Very interesting stuff as this race develops. Drivers all around the shop now starting to struggle. DRS now being re-enabled in this race, and we have SynergyPWR now going through the pits to serve his drive-through penalty for speeding under the pit lane. So he's now going to go right to the back, which is going to create some really big smiles for the Ferrari runner of ScarTricks, who might be on his way to defending Ferrari's position on his own here in this constructors standings. There was a swap at the top in Division 2. Well, they might be sticking in Division 1 as SynergyPWR looking to make a bit of a dive up the inside. He locks up his brakes, though. That's going to bring Hoonigan into the mix. And SV Bradford from the back of the grid, make note as well. He's now up to P5 in the Renault. Really good run from the Renault, but he's currently getting attacked at the moment by the sister Red Bull of Atomic Ship. BWR Dan also in that mix as well to try and make a move in the midfield. It's getting mighty close with all the medium tyre runners now starting to get into each other's wake, and we're going to have DRS and high ERS modes available for these runners. SV Bradford is just outside of DRS territory of Hoonigan. That's going to bring Atomic Ship and BWR Dan into contention for that spot for 10 points. Make note, fastest lap currently belonging to Pearface as it stands on those hard tyres at the moment, a 1 minute 29.0. But that could all change as Not Your F1 and ITFNI Mulan swapping, as does Hypernova now. So Mulan now hemorrhaging positions at the moment on these hard tyres, and there's no significant front wing damage as seen here. Perhaps at this moment in time, Mulan just looking to look out for these tyres to the end of the race. He does have to take them another 20 laps if he is taking them to the end. So he may be thinking better than challenging people who will need to pit again. That does include the likes of SynergyPWR and ScarTricks. Make note, Simpri at the moment not gaining too much time at the moment on ScarTricks on those hard tyres is ScarTricks. Simpri obviously on the softs. He needs to try and find a gap of at least 15-20 seconds if he wants to make this two-stop work, and as it stands at the moment, he's not doing so. Not Yol and MWR Pearface now coming side by side in the racing for P8 and P9. Toro Rosso is without DRS, but the racing point is, and he may end up having to concede the position, does Pearface, and he will do so. He goes around the outside, tries to hug onto the apex, does Not Yol, does a good job, and Not Yol now up to P8 in the racing point, but makes a bit of a mistake, does Not Yol. MWR Pearface now back up on the rear again, and Not Yol struggling with a bit of an internet lagging spike, and he tries to hold on, and holding on does Pearface. He tries to go up on the inside. They're going side by side now for P8 and P9 at the moment, and it's very good racing. It's going to give Pearface the opportunity to have DRS. He's going to hug around the outside. Will the Toro Rosso tries to switch back onto the inside. Good move there from Not Yol to hold on to the position though, and DRS available now for the Toro Rosso, but he's not going to have enough ERS, I think, to try and get past the racing point, and Not Yol is going to hold on to P8, I think. Good work and good racing from the back field. And currently a switch in the moment with BWR Dan and Atomic Ship, but now going side by side heading into the final corner. Problem is now is Atomic Ship's going to get a bit of a toe off Hoonigan, but he's going to be in a position where he has to brake early because of the racing point, and they're going to get very close. I think BWR Dan might have to concede the position here unless he tries to hold on. An Atomic Ship and BWR Dan still side by side going down the main straight. DRS open for the Toro Rosso, but also open for the Atomic Ship as well in the Red Bull because of Hoonigan. And there we go, now to starting to see the Honda power units come into play. Dive up the outside for BWR Dan to try and hold on to the position if he can, but Atomic Ship going side by side, and they're still side by side going into the corner, and there we go again, and they're going to have a bit of a tow here, I think, for the Red Bull as the Sector 1 yellow flags waved as MWR Pearface is out of here, so he's knocked out, and now we're down to 11 runners rather, sorry, and BWR Dan and Atomic Ship still side by side going through into turn 4. They can't go side by side into 5, and BWR Dan takes that position, but it's a good switchback from Atomic Ship to try and hold on position. Great racing up on the curves does the Red Bull, and he holds on for dear life, and we may end up going to see side by side action again from these two Honda power unit cars as we go down the main straight here. Sector 1 yellow flags waved as well, and that's for ITFNI Mulan, who has spun out at turn 5. So he now struggles now, and he's now having to hold on for dear life as he starts to battle now with SynergyPWR, and we're going back to that battle between BWR Dan and Atomic Ship, and they are now separated. What a battle between the two Honda power unit cars side by side for nearly a full track's width. Great work. Really good run here as Hypernova is now trying to get onto the rear end of Notjol at the moment. Notjol gaining and losing in a lot of laps here. Clearly the hard tyre is very inconsistent at the moment, and the Alfa Romeo now up on the inside of Notjol heading into the final corner, and he's actually braking a little bit actually, I think trying to hold on to the DRS, which he has absolutely right to do so if it's safe to do so, and he tries to hold up onto the inside and he does so. Notjol now up to 8th, and now he's going to be looking to hold on for dear life. DRS open for the Alfa Romeo and up to ERS4 as well. The Ferrari-powered Alfa Romeo now looking to try and make a move possibly on the inside of turn 1. He can brake very late, can the Alfa Romeo, but Notjol just holding on to the position. The Racing Point as well, not really turning into the corner as well, heading through, as Mulan is also out of the running as well, so he's now leaving with no points again. Unfortunate stuff from Mulan as well. He was a bit inconsistent in Season 2, and that's his first DNF of the season. Down to 10 runners. The Alfa Romeo is now back into the points as a result. And currently the Alfa Romeo of Hypernova looking to try and make a move on Notjol, and Notjol's gone very wide into 6. Into 7 rather, now heading through into 8 and 9 onto this DRS straight. Notjol braking quite late, but holding on to it thanks to the use of ABS, I think. And Hypernova now able to hold on with DRS now up to ERS4. Might be able to make a move if he has enough ERS available, and he has plenty of ERS, does Notjol though, and he's going to go around the outside with some late braking from the P8 running the Alfa Romeo. He might have a bit of traction as well with those fresher medium tyres compared to the hards. And the hard tyre runner of Notjol is now down to P9, and perhaps the hard tyre is a very bad call from the Racing Point, because those hard tyres are just not connecting. The only person that's connecting very well with the hard tyres at the moment is ScarTricks in the Ferrari, who is still in P3 at the moment, and the defending world champion Sphere Cookie currently in P2 on medium tyres. WR Sempery has to pit again. There's no way those softs could go to the end and not puncture, and he has to pit anyway because it's the only tyre he's only used. He needs to use another compounder tyre, so it's probably going to be mediums at around about, I'd suggest around about lap 15, 16. Hard tyres though available if he chooses to use them, but so far the hard tyres have been an appalling choice of tyre, as Notjol has managed to get past Hypernova again. So Notjol managing to get past Hypernova again, and Hypernova will be burning through these medium tyres. It's going to bring his teammate Pagoo back into it. Notjol holding on to P8 as it stands at the moment in the Racing Point, but currently getting outraced by Hoonigan. His teammate currently in P6 as it stands at the moment. Very, very good battle happening for P8, and that battle continues further up the field as well, as we now have a battle for P4 happening again with what looks like S3 Bradford, BOR, Dan Hoonigan and Atomic Ship all getting very close, too close to comfort I think at times as well, as Atomic Ship now trying to close down to try and get as many points as he can for Red Bull, because Red Bull on for a very good double points finish here as it stands. Currently the only team at the moment with drivers sort of in the higher points. You've got Sphere Cookie on 18, Atomic Ship will be leaving here as it stands at the moment with 6. Whereas the only other teams at the moment with points, but quite low at the moment, are the Racing Points and, of course, the Alfa Romeos. Jordan just leaving the DRS zone at the moment, whereas Hoonigan actually was in the DRS zone at the point of the DRS detection. As Atomic Ship has now come into the pits, he's now changing onto a set of hard tyres for the Red Bull, as Hypernova is now trying to get around the outside of turn 1 for Notjol. There's Notjol and him going very, very close into turn 1 and turn 2, as Notjol has to concede the position, but he is going to have DRS and plenty of ERS available as well, as Hypernova is going to try and hold on to the inside line, but he has no ERS available at the moment. He's going to try and hold on around the inside of 4, as Notjol tries to hold on around the outside of 5, as there definitely is a bit of a collision unless it was an internet spike. There's no way you can go racing too wide through here, and the drivers are proving the track physics wrong actually, because going too wide through there is very, very, very dangerous, and they managed to hold on quite well and are racing through 4, 5 and 6 quite well. Plenty of ERS available for Notjol going through onto the main straight though, as Hypernova now struggling to hold on to the apex heading through there, but gets a good exit, does the Alfa Romeo, as Notjol is now trying to close down the gap on the Alfa, and no doubt we're going to see Hypernova now try to save ERS through these selection of corners here, because he's got barely anything left, about 27%. Really good racing at the moment from the back field at the moment, as we're starting to see some changes to position happening towards the front at the moment, as Simpri is now starting to struggle on these soft tyres, and he thought he was going to pit, but he chooses not to. And now we're starting to see Sphere Cookie looking like he's going to make a change of position for the lead of this race. The medium tyre now making its wonders here as the Red Bull goes around the outside to hold on to the position, and he does so for the inside of 2 and the inside of 3, and the defending world champion is now in the lead of this race, but Simpre is looking to make a move around the outside maybe, and the Haas is back into the lead as Sphere Cookie may have to concede the position unless Simpre has made a mistake, and he has gone a little bit deeper, Simpre, and now he's put himself in danger territory with ScarTricks, and Sphere Cookie now taking full ownership of this race on lap 15 of 29 of this Bahrain Grand Prix as ScarTricks makes a dive up the inside of 6, and ScarTricks is now holding on, and he just can't get the traction down on those hard tyres. I think 14 lap old they are at the moment as they stand, and DRS will be open as Notchell gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Trying to close down the gap on Hypernova is at the moment, and now we're starting to see some changes of positions happening towards the front as SV Bradford is now getting closer to looking at these podium positions. He'll be the first Cynical Velocity driver to get onto the podium, I believe, as well as after SV Pagoo manages to get P2 in the Australian Grand Prix, but penalties saw him drop down to P4. Very, very good racing here as ScarTricks is now looking to try and make an early move, maybe before the DRS zone, surely on the hard tyres, and he has done, which is going to give Simpre the DRS now heading onto the main straight. He attempts to switch back, but he hasn't got a lot of power at the moment to be able to put down on the rubber, and Simpre has decided to come into the pits. He's had enough, and into the pits he goes, and now he's going to be on for a 2-stop here. We have Sphere Cookie who probably will be doing a 2-stop as well. ScarTricks probably will be as well. In fact, he has to because he started on those hard tyres. The only person who doesn't need to pit theoretically is SV Bradford, but he is on medium tyres that are 11 laps old at the moment, which is looking very dangerous as we've got Notcho looking to try and make a move on Hypernova again, and he just can't find that gap just yet to find that move. It's DRS open for P7 as Notyol makes a move again on Hypernova as they go very close side by side and wheel to wheel stuff actually between the two of them, as Hypernova just manages to get round and Notyol makes a mistake and puts himself down the order now back to P7 again, and he's going to be in danger territory, I feel, to the other Alfa Romeo of SV Pagoo, who had to commit to a drive-through penalty earlier on for speeding under the safety car. And SV Bradford getting close now to try and make a move on ScarTricks. 11 lap old mediums versus 15 lap old hards suggests the medium tyres are still faster at the moment, and now the medium tyre runner on the from the Renault, starting P14 earlier in this race, is now heading towards P2, and you will have to pit again, but as probably will Sphere Cookie, ScarTricks, BORDAN, Hoonigan and Hypernova. The only person who could probably go to the end of this race, theoretically, is going to be Notchall, but he's currently losing a lot of time at the moment on those hard tyres, as ScarTricks has had enough of those hards, and he's now come into the pits, as SV Bradford from P14 has now come onto the podium in P2, and BORDAN in P3, with Hoonigan in P4, ScarTricks, as I said, now in the pits, and Hypernova looking to try and make that move here, as ScarTricks now comes out, and he is on a set of medium tyres. Situation report as regards of MWR Pairface crashing out earlier in the race, and that was due to a lag spike, unfortunately. So a really unfortunate situation there as Notchall gets overtaken by SV Pagoo. But SV Pagoo looking like he's going to lose a position again to Notchall as he tries to make a dive around the outside, and he's trying to squeeze in, actually, is the racing point. But at this moment in time, he's struggling to hold on to the position, but he does actually hold on, and going side by side through here is surely not going to be possible, and he does have to concede the position here, and he just obliterates that bit of track there and puts himself right up on the curb, does Notchall. So he's risking everything to hold on to P6 at the moment, but those hard tyres are just not looking strong compared to the mediums. The mediums and the softs certainly looking like the choice of tyre at the moment, and currently as it stands, the defending world champions, Sphere Cookie P1, SV Bradford P2, BORDAN P3, Hoonigan, the Division 2 world champion, promoted from Division 2 last season, up to P4. Good run from the Division 2 world champion, well done to him. Hypernova in P5 with SV Pagoo, even with that drive-through penalty, in a very respectable P6, and Alfa Romeo suddenly starting looking like they're going to be in a really good position for some good points here tonight, with Notchall struggling in P7 with those hard tyres at the moment, and WR Simpre on the fresh medium tyres, surely going to eat up that gap between him and Notchall very, very soon. Very good run from Simpre as well, starting towards the back of the grid and managing to maintain leadership of the race for upwards of 15 laps. A good work from the Haas on his debut. Make note though, ScarTricks and WRS Simpri still battling for position at the moment, and ScarTricks does manage to get past WRS Simpri. So though the undercut did work for Simpri, he's now lost that position to ScarTricks. So ScarTricks looking more likely to be the driver to go for the win here. And both of them with a relatively good amount of ERS, although at this moment in time ScarTricks is starting to push. Remember, ScarTricks was the winner of the last race. They'll be looking to try and capitalise on that, assuming, of course, the rest of the field do pit. One person probably could go to the end is Notcho, but remember, we are on simulation damage, which means punctures could happen around about 70%. Certainly don't want to go near that number. Consider 70% your 100% in normal racing scenarios. SynergyPWR now coming through and trying closing down the gap on Hypernova at the moment. But Notcho still managing to hold on just to the rear end of SynergyPWR. Really good racing at the moment actually from this Division 1. Not starting to get into that bit now where there's a little bit of a quiet spell, about a second separating everyone, 2 seconds and 3 seconds here and there and everywhere, and then we've got Hypernova in P5, 10 seconds off the back of Hoonigan, so it's still very much all to play for towards the top. And Hoonigan on his return to SynergyPWR in his first race in Division 1 could be on for a podium here, but he has to close down the gap on BOR Dan if he wants to do so. What a race though from SV Bradford so far, starting from the back of the grid now to P2 in the race. And 10 laps to go. 24 laps on a set of mediums do sound relatively doable, but you're obviously going to be talking puncture territory. So it is a gamble. Of course, it all depends if you've looked after your tyres as well, which started to look at the left tyre. You can start to see a little bit of a blister happening on that left-hand side. You can see where the toe, he's got a further toe in, I believe, on this setup. It's causing quite a bit of wear on that left side. If you compare that to the likes of Sphere Cookie, though, who's got significantly more wear. BOR Dan also with some significant wear. The only person with not a significant amount of wear at the moment is actually Hoonigan. So Hoonigan actually saving his tyres just a little bit. Of course, you've now got Hypernova also on the same medium tyre as all SynergyPWR. And Not Your now starting to lose time to SynergyPWR, and now ScarTricks getting within DRS territory here, so the hard tyre certainly not the tyre of choice here. It may have been a poor call from Atomic Ship as well to hop over to the hard tyre. DRS open though for the Ferrari, probably not a move here as Hypernova now comes into the pits, and he's coming in early to swap over off here, as is Hoonigan, and Hoonigan on a fresh set of soft tyres now to the end of this race. No doubt it'll be a set of softs as well for Hypernova, and it is, the number 15 now coming out. Now they're at the back of the grid, as it looks like Atomic Ship has just managed to sneak out in front of Hoonigan. DRS open though for the fresh soft runs, and they look very, very, very new as well, those soft tyres, so they'll be very happy. No doubt will be the fastest drivers on the track. The question is, can they find the gap to be able to get themselves back in the position that they lost in doing so? ScarTricks now trying to get past Notcho, and he's certainly within the DRS territory to be able to hold on to the position is Notcho, because he does have plenty of DRS available. The question is, will he be able to hold off the DRS as well? DRS open for the Ferrari. And he's looking to try and make the overtake, I think, going down here. And he has got the pace. Will he be able to do it? It's going to make a dive up the inside. And it is a fair move from the Ferrari to get around the position. Notcho is holding on side by side. And it's going to be very, very close between the two of them. Don't want to get up on that curb. It's going to be forced to be able to go off the gas. And ScarTricks is going to be able to hold up on the outside. Holding on to the inside does Notcho, but it is a valiant effort to hold on. And he will have DRS as well. Will the Racing Point. And he's trying to hold off so that he can have the DRS as well. And he does have the DRS available. The question is, will he go for the move to try and hold on? It's a very poor exit out of the final corner, and that is just a testament to the fresh Pirellis that are on that car. But he is starting to pull the gap now. ERS4 and ScarTricks might be able to hold on here, as PWR is now into the pits to change his tyres, and Notcho is upon the inside to try and hold on, as ScarTricks is going to try and maybe do a switch back, and it's defended well from Notcho, but he's going to have DRS again. Will ScarTricks? So ScarTricks now going to be on the move to make another move here and try and reclaim P4, and he's holding straight around to the outside here, and it is good defending from Notcho around that outside here, going side by side, and very close business happening here, and the Ferrari may have to pull out here because he's going to end up being in a position where the Racing Point may give him a quick tap, and he has done, and Notyol can't hold on to that position, and he's down now to P5, and he has end plate damage on both sides. That's going to force him into a position of significant loss of downforce, and that means Simpre may end up gobbling him up for breakfast, and that might include his teammate of Hoonigan as well. And Notyol has got significant front wing damage with both end plates now missing. That may be because he refused to pull out, and I feel like probably on the inside, actually, Notyol should have pulled out originally from the move, not ScarTricks. And it's not affected ScarTricks in the slightest, but it has affected Notyol, and that's his fault and his problem to now deal with of this attack from the Haas runner of WRS Simpre. And it's a great attack maybe from the Haas runner. Notyol will no doubt try and hold on to the position, maybe even slow down on a purpose to give the position up to hold on to the DRS, but he's choosing not to, and he is, and he's broken very early, has the Racing Point, and I think that was a bit unnecessary to break that early, and that's certainly going to put Simpre in a position, and he's having to pit as a result of that, and I feel that, my friend, may be something to consider from the stewards, and Simpre no doubt will be taking a shot of that one, because it was very, very, very unwise for him to break so early the Racing Point, and it's forcing both of them into a position where they have to pit again. Here comes Hypernova on his teammate. Indeed, I do feel it was a bit unnecessary to break so early from Notyol. He's down to P9. SynergyPWR now for battling with his teammate for P7. No doubt they'll be talking with each other here. Fresh softs for everyone, though. The only person not on fresh softs at the moment is Atomic Ship, who's now up to P5. Only got up to P4, though. But SV Bradford and Sphere Cookie both on now a fresh set of softs to the end of this race, where ScarTricks now reclaiming the lead on medium tyres, but 2.5 seconds in front only, with 5 laps to go in this race. I've got no doubt, though, that the clip WR Simpre will have will be certainly something to look into. And we're down now to the final few laps of this race here, with Sphere Cookie closing down the gap on ScarTricks. But before that, we do have the other Red Bull being eaten up at the moment on hard tyres compared to BOR Dan, who's munching through that gap between him and the Red Bull very quickly. Is on hard tyres as Atomic Ship. Fresh softs for the Toro Rosso. Really good racing at the moment from the rest of the field. Of course, the driver's having to deal with simulation damage, so any mistake, of course, it could cost them an entire race here, and that may include the likes of Simpre, who's still racing at the moment with Notyol at the moment, and Notyol actually losing the position and now down to P10 on his debut, as Simpre now liking to try and close the gap down in P10 at the moment. Really good racing at the moment, actually, between these two. They've had a bit of a collapse in concentration, I feel, from the Racing Point, and he's trying to go around the outside, but Simpre just shuts the door on him, saying, "Nah, that's my position. Earn it the hard way." Atomic Ship and BOR Dan now coming to a head, and BOR Dan manages to get himself through. Soft tyres versus the hards. The question is will Atomic Ship be able to hold on to P6 at this rate? He's got a gap of 9 seconds between him and Pagoo. The fight's happening around the field, including Notyol, still closing the gap down on Simpre at the moment. And he's got all of the RS available, but he still doesn't have the space to find a move, and he's trying to find the space, but it's just not there. And he may have pushed Simpre wide. We'll have to see, but he's going to be holding on around the inside, will Simpre, and Notyol does manage to get past. The Haas is now trying to get past Notyol again. And the driver that might be looking to try and make a move again, though, is Atomic Ship. He's starting to gain time as well on BOR Dan. He'll lose it through here. But will he be within the DRS? We'll have to see. No doubt Simpre will be looking for a move into Sector 2 as Hoonigan is out of the race. Oh, disappointing stuff through there. Sector 2. And a virtual safety car has been released as a result, and he's lost it upon the curbs of Turn 6. Heading into 5 and 6, and on his debut back in Division 1, he'll be really, really disappointed with that. It was on for a good points finish there for Racing Point, and I think it was an unforced error from the Racing Point. What a shame. Heading into turn 5 and 6, and he's lost that front right wheel. What a shame. 9 runners left, with 5 laps to go. Oh, and Notchall again. Just looking at the gap between 8th and 9th at the moment. Notchall again is just too quick. He's too harsh on those brakes and nearly puts Simpry in a position of having no front wing, and they're going back racing straight away. And neither of them have caught each other out. Gap for first place now closing. We're now within a second. And ScarTricks will be holding on for dear life, whereas Sakhir will be holding on now to take his first win of Season 3 in defence of his World Championship crown. WRS Simpry, though, looking to make a move, maybe going up on the inside. He holds on, though. He has DRS. It's great work, actually, from Simpry. Not all F1. DRS open. And DRS open, and plenty of ERS, though, for the Racing Point. He's holding on for dear life upon the inside. Simpry going to go around the outside of 1. He's trying to hold on. He does hold on to the apex quite well, does Notchall. 5th gear and 6th gear. DRS open, holding on to the inside, and Simpry's looking to make a move around turn 4. And makes a dive, and he's broke himself, Notchall, into the Racing Point, and he's going to be up on the outside now. But it means that WRS Simpry is going to be in the worst position, and he does brake early to give him the position up, because it's not a wise place being too wide through there. Notchall holds on to the position, but a very, very, very late braking move. And I think he only just held on to the position as a result of that one. Fair play to Atomic Ship, though, still holding on to the rear end of BOR Dan at the moment. And the place for P1 at the moment is now closing up, as we have Sphere Cookie with the DRS and the ERS making the move to get past ScarTricks again. And the defending world champion has absolutely no way to lose that position through turn 1. Great move there from the Red Bull. DRS open, though, for ScarTricks. It's actually a relatively good exit as well from ScarTricks, and he has ERS available to play with as well, so he could make the move, and he's holding on to the middle of... He's made a bit of a dive there, ScarTricks, and that is a big mistake there from ScarTricks. He made that mistake, he loses the position, and now he's going to be within territory of DRS still, though, even after making that mistake. A very late braking move from ScarTricks to get that position back, and I think he's now trying everything he can. He's got 3 laps, and he is going to be holding on to plenty of ERS at the moment, but Sphere Cookie is using none of it at the moment. He's up to 83%, and he's not touching it. Notchall and WRS simply swapping positions again at the back. ScarTricks, though, looking to try and make a move, maybe. No, he's going to hold on. He's going to hold on through the end of the DRS straight. 3 laps to go, and you're going to start to see the softs now play Sphere Cookie wonders here. Whereas the medium tyre is just a little bit not on the right side, as ScarTricks is late braking, and he's trying to find every bit of time he can to stay within a relative distance, because DRS doesn't necessarily mean overtake. Very late braking again from the Ferrari, but he does manage to make it work. But Sphere Cookie gets a very good exit. DRS available for the Ferrari. The question is he going to be able to make the move? I'm not sure, because he is quite far back. All and WRS simply exchanging positions again. It was good racing at the moment at the back. DRS open again, though, for ScarTricks, and he's got a little bit of ERS available to play with. He's not going to be able to make the move here just yet, but he is closing down the gap very well on the Red Bull, but he's going to be losing it through 4, 5 and 6. Still very much all to play for this win here. The defending world champion versus the driver starting his first full season of SynergyPWR in the Ferrari. Recently swapping from the Ferrari as well, from the Williams seat after Hoonigan takes his break. And again, Simpry and Notchall exchanging positions, and a good switchback from Simpry as well to gain that positions back. But here comes ScarTricks, and again it's a great exit from Sphere Cookie, and I just don't feel those medium tyres have got enough traction. Back at the order again, Notchall trying to make a move around the outside of 4 against Simpry, but Simpry able to hold on, and there's definitely a collision again between the two of them, and he just can't hold on. Can Notchall? Will Notchall be able to dive? He's making a dive up the inside. That's really unnecessary. He's going to put himself on the traction, and there we go. He's put himself on the curbs as a result. Yeah, Yes, very, very aggressive driving from Notyol at the moment. SynergyPWR, though, might be on a position to lose his... It might be losing his position here if he gets a poor exit out of the final corner. DRS open now for the Ferrari, and he is a lot closer than last time. He's munching through all of his DRS that he can SynergyPWR. For this win here, we're still very, very close indeed. Again, nope, he's not actually using any VRS at all, his ScarTricks. He's actually holding on. I think he's trying to make a move into turn 4, is the Ferrari. And he's a good exit if he can, and he's into ERS2, and he's still not looking for the overtake. So he's still got a lap to go, though, to hold on, as SynergyPWR and Notyol again exchanging places potentially as they go into the final corner. It's still great racing from top to bottom. Very close stuff at the moment. DRS open now for WRS SynergyPWR as Notyol tries to hold on to the inside. And here comes SynergyPWR around the outside of 1. Notyol going to be trying to hold on around the outside. He's outbroke himself, though, has the racing point. And he's going to be side by side into 2. And I feel like they're going side by side again through to 3. DRS open for the Haas. And he has got no ERS left as Notyol, so he could make a dive up here, could WRS SynergyPWR, and I think he's choosing to do so. I would do it. And he's going to be up the inside here, and they're going to be very close indeed, and there's still no damage between the two, and great racing between the two as they go side by side through 5, and again, Notyol holds on. Really good racing from SynergyPWR. I'm going to be heading on to the final lap very shortly. We're going to see who gets that final position between 8th and 9th. Remember, though, Notyol with a 3-second time penalty. I don't think SynergyPWR has any. Really good racing, but we are on the final lap at the moment, and ERS 4 for the Ferrari. I don't think he's going to be making a move just yet. I'm right in thinking that. And he's keeping it in ERS 5, actually, going through here, which is intriguing. So he's trying to get as much power as he can down into the tyres, and he is doing so. And here we go, DRS open. Now, it could be a move here. ERS 4 holding on for SynergyPWR. Again, he just can't hold on to that position. Can he? ScarTricks is really struggling at the moment. And SynergyPWR could be on for his first win of Season 3 here, as SynergyPWR and Notyol still changing positions at the moment between the two of them. With good racing as ScarTricks going a very, very deep into T6, heading now through onto the DRS straight. He will have DRS available, will the Ferrari, but SynergyPWR is now going to have to hold on for dear life. It is the final lap. SynergyPWR and Notyol swapping around again. He's going to have to put the power down very quickly, will the Ferrari, but the Honda power unit in the back of the Red Bull now holding on very well, actually, as SynergyPWR trying his best to hold on, and he takes the esports line going around there. Notyol swapping positions again with SynergyPWR heading on to their final lap now. We'll return to that battle at the end of this one. SynergyPWR still holding on, though. You suspect now SynergyPWR should be on now for the win here. We'll see, though. ScarTricks gets a very good exit out of the final corner, and we are going to be very close for comfort here, and there is a little bit of a DRS availability, though, but I don't think it's going to do too much. So it needs to be a bit of a dive maybe from ScarTricks, so he may have to concede P2 here. SynergyPWR getting a good exit, and it will be coming across the line here. DRS open, but SynergyPWR will be coming across the line, and it's 0.2 of a second separated the two. And SynergyPWR takes the win at the Bahrain Grand Prix, his first win of the season with SV Bradford, the first SV driver to get a podium as BOR Dan comes across the line, and it's P4 for the Toro Rosso, and very respectable drive on those hard tyres for Atomic Ship. He comes across the line in P5. It's 35 points for Red Bull. SV Pogu comes across the line, and he'll finish in a respectable P6 with Hypernova in P7. And we've still got a battle happening all the way to the end here between SynergyPWR and Notyol. It's not over yet. We've got one corner to go, and it's all power available. He's trying to hold on to around the outside line here, and he's definitely turning a little bit into the braking zone there is Notyol. It's put SynergyPWR off here, but it's given Notyol a bit of a poor exit here as they go side by side, and DRS open here. They're going to go across the line, and I think it's SynergyPWR who's going to take P8 under penalties. Wow, that was a race, wasn't it? What a race. Director had a lot to do there in that Division 1 race, but indeed it will be top step of the podium for the current Division 1 world champion, defending world champion. He's back. It's SynergyPWR taking the top step. And congratulations to ScarTricks, who are very respectable P2, and SV Bradford. What can I say about him? From the back of the grid, gets a respectable P3, and it's the first podium for Cynical Velocity. Big congratulations to them. And just before we head off and get on the plane to China, let's take a final look at that incredible race between the Division 1 drivers. Topsy-turvy stuff from the get-go, and SynergyPWR will be top step of the podium, 46 minutes and 34 seconds there, and ScarTricks follows in P2 from second on the grid. I think he'll be happy with that one. SV Bradford, though, from P14 on the grid, he gets onto the top step of the podium for a great result for Cynical Velocity and Renault. 15 points for them. Beordan follows in P4 with 12 points and 10 points for Atomic Ship as well. What a great drive on those hard tyres on a 2-stop. Really good work from him. Pagoo finishes in P6 in the end, one position above where he started, and he did even have a drive-through penalty as well, so it's actually a very respectable position for him. And Hypernova in P7 with WRS Simpri in P8 in the end after Notchill getting that 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. He finishes in P9, and Hoonigan out of nowhere, P10 for him, unfortunate circumstances. And then the rest of the field, also DNFs, ITF and Mulan, MWR Perfect, Got to Go Fast, and AMS Bianchi out of the race. And that's it for this week. The Bahrain Grand Prix is complete. We have 7 days, 6 days for Division 2 for the Chinese Grand Prix. Highlights of this race available on our YouTube page over the weekend. But for the rest of the media team here at SynergyPWR, it's goodbye for now.